What's going on, everybody out there in YouTube land? Just doing a video for you guys. This is going to be my contest entry for David's Aquariums. Some of the things he wanted to know in his contest, I'm just going to let you know right now. It was number one, what equipment do I use in my tank? Number two, why I picked that particular equipment. Number three, why these were better than most others out there, or something like that. And number four, why does this particular equipment benefit my tank? So what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to give you a rundown from top left, then bottom left, then right in the sump area. I'm basically going to go around in that order. And if you guys have noticed already, I'm just going to go ahead and shoot this out there. That's the apex in the bottom right of my tank. I will get to that towards the end of the video, but I hope you guys enjoy this video. Let me know what you guys think, and don't forget to check out notw21.com. Thanks again. And boom, here's the Radion lights. I picked these because I love new technology. And obviously these aren't the newest ones because these are the Radion Gen 2s. But I'm really planning on hoping to upgrade these lights. We'll just see how that goes down the road. These lights are proving to be way more programmable than most LEDs. There's a few out there that are getting really close to these lights, but that's one of the reasons why I picked these lights, just due to the fact that LED technology is getting really close to halide and T5 coloration. And I'm hoping one day I'll be able to get all my corals really colored up and looking sexy. Also, these lights give me a wide variety of color spectrum. The only thing I believe this one doesn't have versus the pros is the UV and the yellow spectrum, I believe. But they, you can also dim these to acclimate corals, like over a period of time. You can actually program it to do that and stuff. These have touch-sensitive buttons on the top. They just did an update for the fans, so they're not running as, like, the whole thing isn't running as hot, which was really nice. And the ballasts don't actually get that hot. I also have a tiny fan up there that kind of sucks air out the top, the hot air out the top, because heat rises, obviously. But yeah, that's my Radion lights. Alright, everybody, I believe this is one of the most important pieces of equipment for the saltwater hobby, and that is an RODI system. I went with the Bulk Reef Supply RODI system with TDS meter and pressure gauge. I got this due to the fact that purified water is a must-have. So, I mean, you can do it without it, but I was recommended to use it, so that's what I did, and I love the results from it. I went with the Bulk Reef Supply RODI unit just because they're very well built compared to a lot of others out there, and it looks really clean, especially the way they change the colors for your in water, your out water, and your wastewater. The reason I got this system was actually mainly for the pressure and TDS meter, just due to the fact that it'll help me make sure my water's clean, and both the TDS meter and the pressure gauge also let me know when the filters need to be changed out, or anything of the sort like that, or anything's going wrong with it, and if the membrane needs to be changed out. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump on over to the next piece of equipment. Alright, here's the Javo WP40 power head that I chose. I chose this power head because it's got a lot of flow and different settings. The reason why I picked this was just due to the fact that the price is almost 4 times lower than high-end power heads, and pretty much does the same functions, if not better. It's not as sleek as most, but this thing does a freaking awesome job for the price. It also allowed me to get rid of 3 other power heads, providing a clean look without freaking tons of power heads in here. I mean, who wants all that when you can have one that does the function of all those? So that's a real reason I picked this, and very few complaints about it. Alright guys, this is the second part of the power head section. This is the controller for the Javo WP40 power head. it's a really unique feature that most Powerheads don't have as a controller. I mean, that's in a good price range. Uh, this one's got crazy different settings. It's got wave modes. It's got random sort of modes. It's got a feed button. It also has a night sensor, but they've been having a few problems with those, so that's one of the things about it. But other than that, this thing is running great. It's got lots of flow in my tank. So yeah, I would still recommend this to anybody out there. This is one of the coolest features to my tank that I believe. This is actually the bean animal overflow. It's very redundant, but it gets the job done to its maximum, I think. Um, the reason why I picked this piece of equipment is the overflow is dead silent with 2 backup overflows, just to be on the safe side. The fact that it is silent and has a full siphon for fast water movement, and that it runs great. Another thing, it's super quiet, which allows me to keep it in my room, because you guys know me. I don't like a lot of noise in my room, especially when I'm trying to go to bed. So that's one of the reasons why I picked this. It's got 3 drain lines, the center one being the full siphon, the left one being the main backup, which is the one you guys see right in front of you, and the farthest back one, which in case both of those go out, that one's got everything covered. And it also lets me know, because I'll hear a nasty gurgling sound. But let's go ahead and take you through the back and the bottom of it. Here I've got the 3 lines coming out the back of the tank. The center one being the siphon again, and the left and right are backups. You don't necessarily need a gate valve on either, or ball valve, excuse me, on both of them, but I went ahead and just added them in as another feature to them. At the top, everything's capped off except for the one that actually creates another full siphon, just for if the water gets too high, it'll hit that airline tubing and turn it into a full siphon. I love this overflow. It's kind of hard to see down here over in that corner just because the skimmer's in the way, but the center line there has an actual union and another gate valve or ball valve on it, and that's also where I have my filter sock, because that's the main one that gets siphoned or has a full siphon, and the other 2 are right next to it. Thing runs like a champ, does what it needs to, and that's the reason I picked it. This is the auto top off of my system. I believe most people should have one of these. Just it takes a lot of hassle out of adding water every day and stuff like that. The one I went with is the JBJ auto top off. It was cheaper than most. If you set it, I believe it's got an audible alarm on it. Not exactly sure. I haven't looked into full detail about that, but it's there. These aren't really the best, but they definitely get the job done, so that's why I have it, and I haven't had any problems with it since then. This particular piece of equipment benefits my tank because it keeps me from having to top off water every day, and it also keeps my salinity more stable. Just that's a necessity, I believe, just to keep the water stable, instead of having, oh, I gotta go lug some jugs up here and top off my tank to make sure it's level. This does everything for me. It's kind of hard to see down here, but I have my top off water right here, and there's the aqua lifter pump that I have connected to it. It allows me to pump water from my reservoir to my tank. Alright guys, I went with the bulk resupply dosing pumps. I mainly picked these dosing pumps for the price, and because they are compatible with a controller. It may not be better than other ones, but they are built very well. And these pumps help to keep my water chemistry in check. That's why I went particularly with the bulk resupply dosing pumps. Okay, so this is the Reef Octopus SSS 1000 or Super Sump Saver 1000. I chose this skimmer specifically for my tank size, and Reef Octopus is one of the best skimmers out there just due to their design. Um, this is a bit kind of the cone skimmer style, um, and I chose this particular equipment to benefit my tank for the skimmer's designed to take out proteins in the tank, like fish waste and detritus and things like that. And it's pretty quiet. I mean, if I plug up the siphon on it, or the air silencer, it's way quieter, but that air silencer makes a huge difference as it is. So that's why I have this particular skimmer, and it fits perfectly in my sump. So, and as you can tell, it's pulling out some pretty nasty crap, literally. Alright, this is my Eheim Jaeger heater. I picked this piece of equipment for my tank size and its quality. These heaters have been more reliable and last a lot longer than most other heaters. And heat needs to be kept almost as stable as chemistry to keep the inhabitants happy. So that's why I went with this one, because it's really reliable, and I haven't had any problems with it since I got it. Alright, right now I'm running a PAR 38 LED bulb. It's all white LEDs. I'm just running it instead of compact fluorescent lights, just because they last a little longer. Obviously it uses LEDs, which last way longer than other standard lights. And it also helps grow my macroalgae and allows me to see in my sump really well. There is a few other bulbs out there that I want to try, but for now this one's doing the job, so I'm just gonna keep it in there. This is my Coralia 240. The reason I picked this was it's small and affordable. I also prefer the sleek design over other Powerheads, and it also keeps a nice little current in my refugium, so it's doing what I needed to do, and it's not letting the water settle or a lot of stuff build up in here. So yeah. And this is my Eheim 1260 return pump. I chose this pump due to it having a nice head height and a flow rate for my setup. Although I'm sure there are better pumps than this one, I've noticed it's way more quiet than most others out there. I haven't used very many, obviously, but I've heard things, and it benefits me because it's quiet, basically, and it has nice water flow. And I actually cleaned it for my yearly cleaning, even though I'm like 5 months late. And it was really easy to clean. Everything disassembled very well, and it's an all-around great pump, I think. And yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, the unveiling of the Neptune's Apex controller on notw21's Reef. This is a lovely piece of equipment, if I say so myself. The reason why I picked this is basically because I love having my stuff automated. Who doesn't? And I chose this controller for its programmability, obviously, style. It's very sleek. It is plastic, but it's not a big deal to me. It's very modular. I think it can have up to like 240 different outlets on it, or not outlets, like bars, energy bars, and you can use other people's programs for yours if you have the same type of equipment and things like that. And if you really want to get complex, you can set up a webcam and freaking look at, like, wherever you have it on, like looking at your tank. You can look at it anywhere in the world, basically. So that's pretty legit to me. It benefits me basically because it allows me to see my temperature, my pH, and if I have ORP or my conductivity probe, I could see those basically all the time. And it will email me if something gets too low or too high. Also text me. You can turn off certain pumps. For, let's say, my water change, I actually used it for my water change like 3 or 4 days ago, and oh my god, did it make a huge difference. I mean, there's so many things you can do. The list goes on and on. Here's the basically the innards of the Apex system. You've got your brain, you've got your energy bar 8, you got your Ethernet plug, the Aquabus plugs, the display plug, your temperature probe and pH probe, your ORP. I believe there's a second ORP or pH probe, and your other ports for your like breakout box and things like that. I tried to clean this up as good as I can, just to make it neat, obviously, because I love a neat system. It definitely makes things a lot easier to maintain and stuff like that. So that's my Apex. Hoping to do a review. Not sure how that's going to work out because I'm really bad at reviews. But hope you enjoyed that Apex tour. Alright guys, this is my entire setup. There are a few other things that I want to talk about. I do also have a BRS dual reactor. There's a few things that I didn't want to get like specific about because they're not my favorite things, but they do work in my system. There are a few that are a necessity, and there are a few that aren't. But the BRS dual reactor, it's a nice reactor. There's a few things that I don't like about it, but it works if I need it to run carbon or something like that. Also, the phosphane reactor, that worked really well when I was running GFO. And what else? Let's see. Oh, my sink that I had built in over here. It's so worth it. There's so many times I've used that, and I basically just run a tube from the main tank over into here, and boom, there's my water change. All I have to do is add water. Also, the probes down in the center, in the right below the light, those are freaking awesome. Easy to calibrate. I thought I was gonna have a lot of problems calibrating, but it worked out really well. Fans, it doesn't look like I have any fans in here, but there's obviously the 2 fans in the LEDs. And then back here in the way back corner, I actually drilled a hole where I've got piping ran in the attic that pulls hot air from the top up there and hot air from through here. So that's legit. Love that. When I first started, all these switches up here in the corner, they were to turn the lights off up top. When I first had my DIY LEDs, obviously all my Powerheads that I had in here. Down here I had I got outlet here, and like one up in the middle there, one in the farthest side there. I have all these outlets here that I can use for like piddly stuff now that I have the Apex system over there. As you can tell, the wires are still really clean. I try to clean them up as good as possible, basically. But another thing that I really like are filter socks. They definitely help with detritus and stuff like that goes down the overflow. The longer ones are actually way better, but also the carbon. Carbon is a lovely source of getting anything out of the water, and I believe that's actually helped with a few things in my system that I did run carbon, and then I stopped, and then I realized it and started doing carbon again, and I've noticed a big difference now. But yeah, that's my video, guys. This is my entire setup fully opened. I'll go ahead and get you a quick shot of everything really like fully closed. Alright, this is my entire setup fully closed. There are a few gaps in there which actually help pull air in, so if you see any light in certain places, that's why they're there. But that was my entire setup. That was my basically the things that I love to use and love to talk about to anybody that comes over and stares at my tank. I mean, I've had so many people come over, friends and family, and stuff like that, and they're just like in awe that all this is that gorgeous, but there's so much behind it. As you can tell, if you like from this to everything open, it's a big difference. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Whether I win or not, every comment and every like or dislike, whichever you prefer, is appreciated. Not so much the dislikes, but you get what I'm saying. But thanks again for watching, guys. Hope you guys love your tanks as much because I have quite a few, as much as I do. And yeah, have a great day. Thanks for watching.